Hi guys, and welcome to my 79th video. Thank you so much for joining me if you are a return subscriber. Hello if you are new. My name's Adrina. I'm an Australian teacher and mum, currently on a break at the moment, trying to figure out this whole teacherpreneur online space, selling my teaching resources and Clipart on Teachers Pay Teachers and online. So in today's video, I'm super excited because we have part 2 following on from my part 1 video of creating my clip art set, and now in this video I'm going to package it all up and show you basically how I do all the extra parts that goes into creating a clip art set and then uploading it to TPT. I will share with you guys too, I have had questions in the past about whether I actually use my own clip art in my other store, the Creative Table, and yes I do, and I'm going to show you in this video basically what I have created so far with the character I made in the last video. So I'm super excited to show you all of that and more, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. And basically I'm just going to take you along, we're going to work together, and I'm going to upload this set to TPT so you can follow along and watch my process if that is something of interest to you. So I'm going to take you over to my computer and let's get started. Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of my Create Clip Art series. I'm super excited to be showing you the second part to this video because in this video we are going to be packaging it up and uploading it to TPT. So there are a few steps involved in doing this, but I'm going to basically take you along while I work, and you can just kind of come along for the ride and see how I kind of go from A to B, from basically creating the clip art to now basically packaging it up and uploading it to TPT. Now I will just kind of catch us up to speed because in our last video, or part 1 of this series, mini series, we created this little octopus monster character, and we did him in a few different colorways. So basically once I've airdropped the clip art set that I want to kind of package and put up onto TPT, I will then save it to a folder. So how I basically organize my folders, I have a external hard drive, which is just here, my Adrina's TPT hard drive. It's I think 1 or 2, actually I think it might be like 4 terabytes, quite a large one. And so I save all the clip art that I've created on here, and I use Backblaze to back up this folder for just in case anything happens to the actual hard drive. That's something that I've done in more recent times, and I didn't always do that when I first started, but since I've been earning money with TPT, I've been able to pay for that as an extra security measure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this file up, and I save things in one kind of clip art file, and you'll see here as I scroll up and down that all of these files are clip art that I've actually created. My monsters that I've created, I've just saved in my Monsters 2023 set here, and you'll see I've got all the different monsters in their own section, so monster 1 all the way to 7 so far, but we haven't actually uploaded 7. We are up to number 6, and I have plans to upload 10 different monsters and then bundle them. So I'll just show you really quickly while we're here. Basically, these are the monsters that I have here so far. I'll just open that a bit bigger. So this was set 1, we got set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5. So the one that we'll be uploading is set 6. But you can see while you're looking at my store here that they all have a very similar outlay, and I use of course a template in order to make it easier for me to upload, and so I'm not trying to create it from scratch every single time. So over time, when you kind of begin creating your clip art sets, you'll find your own way of how you like to do things and trying to keep it consistent and on brand to what you are wanting to have like in your store. So I found that using templates is the best way to go about it. So what I'll do, just minimize that for a moment. Now I just want to explain my little filing system really quick before we get started, because I know that I have done a video on this in the past. I think it's like how I organize my clip art folders or something a few years ago, but I will just speak on this really quick for anyone that's kind of newer. So I have 3 in every single folder basically that I have when I create clip art. I have 3 sections. 1 with this red dot being masters, 2 being the green dot my final upload, and 3 my resource folder. So within each of these folders, I have folders inside. My masters folder basically comes with 3 sections as well. So we've got files, big preview, and little preview. Now, I've only done this in a way, so if I have extra files that go along with the actual Clipart set, that I will store it in here. The big preview is basically the big PDF preview that comes along with uploading to TPT, and I will save my little preview in here. Now this will, when it says masters, basically these are all the master files. These are all the editable files. So nothing out of my masters files will ever be uploaded to TPT, because I know that's the editable version. They're not the final versions of my Clipart set. That's where I have number 2 here, and I've got this green dot here. This is my final. So my final folder here is where I will save my zip folder, which is what I will eventually upload to TPT. My second one here is my big preview. So this will be the flattened PDF version of my big preview. And then same here with number 3, it'll be my JPEGs, my thumbnails for uploading to TPT. Now this folder here, number 3, is my resource folder, and this is basically usually where I save all of my clip art for that set, and I'll create the actual folder, and then I'll zip that and drag that then into my final folder. So I know it's kind of a little bit confusing, but hopefully as we go along you kind of start to understand how I've kind of organized and moved these around. So what I'm going to do, usually what I start with, if you are brand new Clipartist, you're of course going to have to start off with a brand new document, but I'm just going to go, to make it easier for me, and use my template from my last monster one. So if I just go into my masters, my little preview, and I open up set 5, I'm just going to open that up onto PowerPoint, and then I'm just going to copy that and then put it onto a new document. So I'll just show you how I do that. Okay, so that's just loaded up now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go File, New from Template. Now this is because I have created a template on here. Okay, so I've opened that up. Now you'll be able to see here that I have folders with the names on these. So Creative Fabrica, TPT 2023, Boom Cards, my PayHeap website, and my old templates. And then I have these 3 main templates that I also tend to use pretty often. So these are all templates that I've saved and created. Now I'll just show you a quick preview, and please don't mind that this says personal. I do actually pay for the business version of PowerPoint. I don't know why and if it's supposed to say personal, but I do definitely pay every month for use of PowerPoint. But anyway, let's just go into one of these folders. So I want to kind of just show you. So this is my 2023 TPT folder. So I've got 2 stores, of course. I've got the Creative Table and I've got Terrazzo Clipart. So if I go to Terrazzo Clipart, you'll be able to see that I have created all different types of templates that I can kind of use. So if it's like a bundle, for example, I could open this up and replace some images. If it's, I need to actually create a new template for this monster kind of set. But for now, because it's just going to be easier if I just create, if I just copy and paste it, I'm just going to do it that way. But usually I would create, if it's something that I'm going to be doing a lot of, I would create a whole template for it. But just in this case, I'm just going to click on my square template and I'm just going to open that and create that. And then what I'll do is I basically just go to my set 5, copy all of that. So just Command A on a Mac, Command C, and then I will open this up. I will just Command A, select all of that, delete all of those, and then just Command V and paste all of them in. And then you'll see that I've just got the white background. So the way I actually change that, I just go into Design, I go into Format Background, and I will open this up bigger in a sec for you to see, but I'm just going to do this first. And then I go into, you see Format Background down here, Pattern Fill, and then I'll just choose this one down here, which will give me those kind of grid lines, and I will just change it to a nice kind of just barely white. So that will give you that kind of grid-like effect in the background, which I personally really, really like. and it's just a good way because if someone's trying to like copy it, they've got grid lines in the backgrounds. It's not just like they can use it straight away, if that makes sense. That's kind of why I do have the grid lines as the pattern background, but it's also like white so you can kind of see it still nice and clearly. So of course when you're creating your own clip art set, you want to be doing something that's unique to you and doing whatever you feel comfortable. But yeah, this is just kind of showing you an example of kind of how I structure my things. But yeah, basically now that I've got this, you can see it's got presentation 1. So this is a brand new like template basically. So I can get rid of this. This is the one that I use as just to copy and paste it. Now I know there are other ways that you can make this faster, but I'm just a bit lazy and I haven't created like a whole template for this yet. So this it doesn't take that much extra time. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my set 5 to set 6, and because it's still a variety of 12 set and it's still a cute monster, I will leave the titles as is. And what I will just literally do is I will just input the new clip art set by just changing the image or changing the picture. And to do that's really easy. Just right click on your mouse and then go change picture from a file. I'm going to then go and select my little monster guy. Okay, so I'm just going to go and choose my monster guy. It takes me a little while to get to this folder because I've got so much on this actual hard drive, but it was in Monster 6, so resource folder. And as you might have remembered, when we actually exported or airdropped them in the last video to my computer, I already numbered them, so that makes it easier for if you're wanting to have them in that kind of color coded selection. But because I am just going to be picking the ones I like in color, which I think are going to stand out the best, it doesn't really matter for that in particular, but I'm just going to choose this pink one to begin with because I feel like that's a really nice cute little fellow that draws attention. And then I'm just going to choose a few different colors, other colorways to add to this. I might go yellow, and then I will change picture again, and I might go the orange. I might do the red here, and then I might do like a blue and maybe a green. So I might do the blue here and then the green here. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we can probably even just play around a little bit with this. This guy does look a little bit large. He's kind of an awkward shape, so I don't know if I like him being kind of diagonal or not. I might just leave him straight, but I might play around with these and just see what that looks like. And I feel like these are a little bit high, so I might just bring them down a little bit more and just have a quick play with changing this green one to possibly the darker green. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to actually have a quick change of this one and see what that looks like when it's like, okay. And I might see if that one looks better with the blue here. But basically, I will just play around. I don't mind that. Let me just try the green on this side actually. Alright, so I'm happy. I think I don't know. So this is the hard part, is trying to find what's going to kind of stand out for you. I think that one for me, I do like the purple. I think that does look quite nice, but when I'm looking over here on the side, which will give a better view of like how people may see it within like when they're scrolling on their phone, I think the green one stands out a little bit more. It's more eye-catching, so I'm going to leave it at green like that. But it is basically just a matter of playing around with what you like in the different colorways or whatever you want to kind of present on that first cover page of your clip art set. And then what I'll go and do now is I'll just basically enter, well for me anyway, I basically choose a few from the set, I feature them on the front page, and then in the second thumbnail I will pretty much highlight everything else that is included if I can fit it in. And in this case, because I have my clip art set with only 12 characters but in different colorways, I have enough room to do that. So I'm just going to replace all of these just like we did before. Right click, change picture from a file, and because they already are numbered, I can literally just click them from 1 to 12 excuse me, and then just insert them how they've been numbered, and I'll go and do that. So it's a really quick and easy process, just changing the picture. I'm not doing too much extra to this because it's already a template. Sometimes I might have to readjust the sizes a little bit, but for the most part it's just a simple switch by just doing the change picture thing. And it can be a little tedious at times, but it's better than trying to have to create the whole thing from scratch again, which is why it's good to use a template, not only because it makes it easier for you, it's just a good way to kind of understand the sequence of how you're actually going to structure your whole kind of clip art set. So now with my set here, you'll see that I have a bonus one. I don't include the bonus ones on the actual thumbnails. I just add them in as like a little surprise. So you'll see that I had like that purple character. I'll show you really quickly. So I've got my 12, which was what I'll charge for $3, but I'll just show you. This is the bonus one. So this was number 13, this little guy. So he's super cute, but I won't include him on the actual thumbnails because I just like it sometimes to add like a little bonus as a little surprise for when they open their clip art set and they're like, oh, I didn't know that guy was in there. They might not notice, but sometimes it's just nice. I just like to add a little extra bonus into some of my clip art sets. So because I don't have to really change much with any of the text, in a normal set I would probably have to rearrange some wording, but because they're part of my Cute Monster series, basically, I'm not going to have to worry about changing any of the text on this, which is great. I just have to worry about changing the set numbers because it's not set 5, it's set 6. Third thumbnail, I'll have like the colored version. So I might add that pink one again. And then I'm going to show that there's a black and white version included also. So I think when you're shopping for clip art, it's good to see that there is a black and white version that comes with it. So you're able to see that I've just added a colored one, and then they can see that there is actually black and white involved. And then for my last slide, I just keep it really simple. I just have the title of what it is, and then have like it's clip art, it's 300 DPI. If it wasn't clip art, I would change that to digital paper if it was digital paper. For personal commercial use, they're PNG images and they're in a zip file. So I have this for pretty much every single set, and that's basically how I've structured my clip art sets. This is not what you have to do. You can create yours any way, shape, way or form. This is just how I've liked to structure it. Basically a little preview of what's involved, the second one being all of what is included if I can fit it on there, or a bigger sample. The third one showing that there is coloured and black and white included as the set, and then my third one just basically reinforcing that this is clip art, it's at this DPI, it is for personal commercial use, and etc. like I just went through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. So file, save as, and I'll save this into my masters folder like I was trying to explain before. Alright, so we'll open up my monsters 2023, it's in monster 6. So my masters, so because this is going to be my little preview, I'm just going to save it in my little preview, and then I'll just write monster 6 little preview, and I sometimes will write master just so I know it's the master, or sometimes we'll write editable or just leave it at like little preview. But lately I've been trying to include master so I know it's the master file, and then so it's in masters, it's in little preview, and I'll just click save. So if I ever need to go back and edit it for any reason, then I can just go back into my masters folder and do that. Now what I'll do then is I'm going to go to File, and I'm actually going to export these as JPEG. So I'm going to go Export. These will be for the actual thumbnails. So I'm going to then go into that same folder, Monster 6. I'm going to then go into my final folder, because this is what is going to be uploaded as the thumbnail. So my little preview in this final folder here, and I'm going to just write little preview without master. So Monster 6 little preview. You could even write thumbnails. I don't usually write thumbnails because I know what they are, but you can do whatever you want to do to make it easier for you. But then I would just go to see how it says file format. It's got PDF. We don't want a PDF right now. We want a JPEG. And so you'll be able to see that you can either save every slide or you can save the current slide only. So I will go and save every slide, and I'll just export that. And then you should see it come up with this little thing. Each slide in your presentation has been saved as a separate file. Just click OK. And then when I go to my folder in my Monster 6, if I go to Final, Little Preview, you'll see them then come up here. And they look all good. I usually just double check them, make sure they're all good. And then I'll just kind of rename them. So I'll just rename them one Monster Clipart, and then Monster Clipart set. I just name them. I don't think you have to really do this, to be honest, but I just do it anyway. Monster Clipart, and then cute Monster Clipart. Now I don't know if there is any kind of SEO attached to any of these thumbnails, but just in case, that's why I kind of just rename them to kind of at least something involving Monster Clipart. I really don't think you have to do that, but I just have done that for a while now, so I do that. And so I've got my little thumbnails all ready to be posted now. Now for my big preview, I again will use the template. So what I'll do is go to File, New Template. I'm just going to do the same thing as I did before, because I haven't really got a created monster set yet. I'll just click my vertical template that I've got as a preset template, Create. And then I'm going to go into my set 5 monster set, masters, my big preview, and I haven't saved this in the right way. I think I've accidentally saved it in the wrong spot on this one. Silly me. I must have saved it in the actual final version. Yeah, I have. So sometimes I will make a little mistake. So that one really should, I'll move that back actually. I'll move that into my masters folder. That shouldn't be there. And I'll put that into here. So that's where it should be. So go into my big preview, and then I'm going to open up my Monster 5 big preview, and I'm literally just going to do the same thing. Now this does take time. Once you've got the templates all organized and set up, it just makes it so much easier for you then to continue uploading sets in an easy and simple way. But if you don't have your templates created yet, then that is something that you're going to have to focus on and work on first, so it makes it easier for your uploading process. So I'm just going to now go Command A. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'll just delete that one from the template. Control V, paste it all in, go to Design, go to Format, Background, go to Pattern Fill, and do the exact same thing like we did with the little preview. And I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can see. And so, because I've already got all this filled out, that's all good. I don't need to change anything on that. If it is digital paper, I will go ahead and change that, but it's not. It's Clipart, so that can stay all the same. And in my big previews, I've just got like the title, which I won't need to change, and I will have to change this though, set 5, because it's not set 5, set 6, and then same thing, I will literally just go in and just change the picture for each of those again, like we did with that little thumbnail. So it should be my resource folder, and I would just go and do that exact same thing in the big preview. Now I know that some people don't, or some clip artists won't like to do this, only because they might think, you know, people might be able to steal their work a little easier doing this. But I feel like giving someone a really good detailed preview into what they're got the wrong one there, what they're actually purchasing is a better way to convince someone to purchase. I know for me as a shopper, I really like to kind of like see what's actually involved, see what I'm actually buying. I know that everyone shops differently, but I think because I shop this way, this is why I've been very transparent with exactly what you're going to get basically from both of my stores. Like I will feature a lot of different, if not the whole product, basically, within reason. Oh, I've done that again, silly me. Within reason, though, to kind of just show the buyer what they're going to be getting, so there's no hidden surprises and they know what they're signing up for basically. So I will leave, like I said, the bonus one out. I don't include that because that's just like an extra one that when they open it up, like, oh, okay, there's an extra one here, which is cute. So that's now done. I don't have to do too much, but you'll be able to see like all of this is movable, but you just have to kind of create your own template that you can kind of continue to just change pictures in and out of, so you're not creating it from scratch every single time. Okay, so with this section, I will just add a bigger version then of this character by just inserting it just like that, and you'll see that I have like this little preview. It's like a semi-transparent bit of text here that I kind of just put on top just so it makes it a little bit harder to steal. I personally like to add a bigger version so people can really see what it looks like. Like this is like obviously all of what is included in a smaller view, but I just know some people really like to see the definition to see what the quality is actually like at a bigger scale. And what I'll do, if I change this little preview on the actual clip art, I will then just go ahead and delete the rest of these and besides the last one, and then I would just add another couple of the same, and then I would just change them out because that's how I've liked it. And I'll just choose a few different other colors, and then choose a few different colors here that I think are going to be nice to highlight. So we've got the yellow, we've got the blue, and then I've got the pink, so that will be enough as just the 3 close-ups. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less, and each one still has my logo on it. And then for the last little one, I know I go into quite a lot of detail, and not everyone, not all clip artists will want to do this, and that's okay. I just personally, because I shop this way, I like to see kind of really what's involved. I will still purchase sometimes if I like the set, even if there's not a big preview, but I can see that the potential of the clip art set is good. But I just like showing and giving a really good preview into what is going to be given in the set, if that makes any sense. And just like the little preview, I like to kind of go ahead and show that there's a colored and a black and white version, and I'll just add him up there, and you can see I've written here black and white outline included. And so yeah, that's basically what I will do for the change out of my template to basically create a brand new monster set. I'm going to save this. This is where it gets a little bit more intricate now, because I flatten for free. Now I know of course this is my own clip art, so I just flatten. I don't, there is a difference between flattening and securing. Securing is kind of like where you have like a password protected type of thing on top of the flattened version of it. But for me, because it is my own clip art, I feel like flattening it is enough in my personal preference. So I don't like having like a password thing on it. If you do and you want that for extra security, definitely go ahead. I have not invested in the flat pack thing yet, so I do have to do this a manual way. And I've talked about this so many times. This is not a way I would necessarily recommend to everyone because it gets really tedious, but I have found a newer way that is a bit easier than the way I used to do it. So first of all, I'm going to save this. So file, save as, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it in Monster 6. It's going to be in my masters folder because it is editable. So it's going to be saved in my big preview. So I'll just write Monster 6 big preview master. and then I will just save that as is. Now what I'm going to do, because it's not flattened yet, I have to actually first of all save it as a PDF now. So what I'll do after I've actually saved the actual master file where I can edit it, I will then go File, Export, and I will save it. I just change it by adding PDF on the end, and I'll save it in the exact same spot that I just saved the actual editable master file. Export, and that will export as a PDF. So I just have to wait. Usually that takes a little time, and then I will just minimize that for the moment, and then I'll have a look at my actual folder. So I'll go to 6, I'm going to go to my masters, and I'm going to go to my big preview. So you'll see I have the master editable file here, and then I have the PDF that we just exported. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up the PDF. Now you'll notice, I'll show you really quickly, if I was to copy this, and you can see there it allows me to actually select that one image, and I could press copy, and then I could just get out of that for a second. Just on a new page, if I wanted to steal this clip art, I could. You'll be able to see I can paste it, and I'll be able to use that clip art. We don't want that. That is why Clipartists ask you to flatten your images before, posting to TPT and securing. You have to read the terms of use pretty carefully, because every clip artist is different. So everyone will require different things when using their clip art. Some clip artists will require just flattening at the bare minimum, and some clip artists will ask you to flatten and secure. So like I said, this is my clip art, so I'm just happy with it being flattened. For me, even for my own self, I just flatten it. I don't worry about securing it, like having a password protected thing. I just flatten it, so then it makes it harder for someone to steal it, basically. So the way I do this for free is because, like I said, if I was to select any of these, I could easily copy, and we don't want that. So what I go ahead and do first of all is I actually go and just click on this first slide, and I will go into File, and I'm going to go Export down the bottom here. And what you'll see is it will come up basically with format, and we want to change that to JPEG, and we want to bring this up to best. And you'll be able to see here, which is what I really like, is you can see the resolution is 300 pixels per inch, which is like what we want. Before I used to do this, I actually used to screenshot these each individually, and I found that to be really tedious because some of them didn't end up being the same size. It didn't make much of a difference, but this way is definitely way better. So what I'll do is I will literally just name these by numbers. So I'll just do number 1. Make sure that's on my desktop. I will save it, and then I'll have to do that throughout. So I'll do that again for number 2. So File, Export. We're going to go back to JPEG, click Best, and I will just rename it to 2. It's on my desktop, save, and I'll basically go through and do that for the 6 images basically that I need to be flattened. So JPEG, Best, number 3, desktop, save, number 4, File, Export. We've got JPEG, Best, 4, desktop, and save. Right, 2 more, File, Export. We've got JPEG, Best, number 5, desktop, save. Last one, File, Export, 6, JPEG, Best, and save. I did that the opposite way around, but that's okay. Okay, and you'll see that now you have them on your desktop. So what I'm actually going to have to do now, just get rid of that. I could probably use that, but I'm not going to use that file. I'll just get a new one. I'm just going to get another vertical template, and they're all templates that I've created and just made it easier to access. But I'll get rid of that. I don't need that. Don't save. And what we're going to do now is we're going to insert these images that we've just exported. So you'll be able to see if I open these images, like you can't just copy these. These are the flattened version now, which we're then going to insert as a background into this new document. First of all, I'm going to go into this template, and because I know that there's 6 of them, I'm just going to go Command D and create 6, basically 6 6 vertical pages. I'm just going to go the first one. I'm going to go design. I'm going to go to format background. I'm going to go picture or texture fill, and then down below here you'll see picture source, and I'm going to insert number 1, which is the first one that we exported, which is my like terms of use kind of page. I'm going to insert that just like that, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the rest. So we're still in format background, go picture, insert, number 2, insert, and these are adding it as the background image. So they can't be edited, they can't be touched, they can't be taken away. So picture, insert, 3, insert. So like I said, this gets really tedious. This is not the best way that I would say I would necessarily recommend if you have Flatpak. I have never used Flatpak. I've heard really good things about it. I just am so lazy. I haven't bought it yet, and I don't know. I've just got so used to this that I'm kind of happy with it, and it's free. So I'm happy for now. In the future, I have said this before, I do want to invest in something that's going to make my life a little bit easier by just like a click of a button, and I'll be like, why did I do this for so long? But I'm just sharing with you guys a free way if you were like just starting out, how you can flatten it for free. So all of them now have been inserted in the background. Then I'm going to basically save this as the flattened version. So I know, like I said, there's a lot of steps to this, but it is what it is. I'm going to save as, and I'm going to go back to my monsters, so in monster 6, and this one will be in masters again, into my big preview. I'm just going to select this, and I'm going to change this to flattened instead of master. I will click flattened, because this is basically saving this file as a flattened version if I need to change it for any reason. So we'll go and save that, and then for the last part, to make it fully flattened, we're going to go File, Export, and then we're going to go into Masters, and I'm actually going to change it to my final, because this will be the final flattened version. This will be the big preview. As you can see, we've already got the little preview there. We need just the big preview now. And so I will just rename it. Sometimes, to be honest, what I will do, because I've already done it on Monster 5, I will go into select into my final one what it was renamed here. So yeah, so for set 5, this is what I named it, Cute Monsters Set 5 Big Preview, and I would have had to larger Clipart at the end. So I've selected that name. I'm not going to change, I'm not going to have it as that name. I'm going to click back into Monster 6, go into final, go into Big Preview, and then I'm literally just going to change that out to Set 6, so it's exactly the same title as my Monster 5 Big Preview. And yeah, that's pretty much as simple as it is for that. And then I'm just going to click export, making sure that it's on PDF. Export, it will do its thing, it will load, and then literally then you have your flattened version. So Monster 6, final, big preview, and you'll see it come up here. Now you'll notice once I get this up, I'm just going to get the rest of these out of the way for a minute so we can see this a little better. And this is where, like, when you're working, it can kind of get a little bit messy on screen and stuff. So you kind of really got to know where things are and what you're kind of doing. So with the other part, it was this one here. So you'll be able to see, so I've renamed them obviously different. This is the final version, the Cute Monsters Set 6, and this is the Monster 6 Master PDF. So if I was to show you the same page, so let's bring up this page on each of these. This is the unflattened version to the right, and to the left is the flattened version. So you'll be able to see if I was going to try and, like I said, copy one of these from the unflattened version, I'd be able to do it, and I'd be able to paste it and kind of steal that clip art, as you can see there. But with the flattened version, you'll be able to see if I try and copy it, it's going to take the whole picture with it. You'll see it can't isolate an actual clip art image. So if I tried to copy that and put it on like a slide, you get the whole thing, and it's a lot blurrier. So people aren't, unless they can't really, they have the whole thing and they've got the checkered background in there as well. So if they were trying to use it, say for example they were trying to like steal it, like they're going to get a very low quality version of the actual clip art. You can see if I try and scale this up, it's so blurry, and they got the whole page. It wasn't just one isolated clip art image. So that is the difference between basically an unflattened PDF to a flattened PDF. And this is where, like I said, that you can do it for free. And same thing, like if they try to copy this one, they would get the same result. So if I just paste that in, they would get the whole page. It wouldn't just be the actual clip art. They would get the whole page, and then they've got to work around getting the preview out the way. So it makes their life a lot harder if there's anyone trying to steal clip art. But that is one of the reasons why basically Clipartist will ask you to flatten and secure. So it makes it harder for others that have not purchased their clip art to steal. And it does happen, and it is unfortunate, and people have smart ways of like figuring things out, but this is one way that you can add that little extra layer to help clip artists not get their work stolen, and then also because you have spent your hard-earned money on their clip art, for them to not, you've paid that money to use in your work. And then for someone to just like copy and paste it off your work, it's not fair on you either, because you've paid your hard-earned money for it. So it's in everyone's best interest to flatten at the bare minimum, so it makes it harder for any clip art thieves out there. So that is that for my flattening process. Now I am going to go back and just show you before I upload. Okay, so I'm just going to go into my folder just to double check everything. So Monster 6. So let's have a look. We've got in the final folder, this is what I'll actually be uploading. Usually this is, to be honest, more so for my first store, where I sometimes have the actual resource in here. But with the clip art set, it's a little bit different. I know that's going to be confusing to some people, but I know what's going on because in my head it makes sense. So anyway, the big preview, this is what we're going to upload. This will be the flattened version, and you'll be able to see that, and you can test that out and make sure that it is. The little preview, I've already got them ready to rumble to upload. So all I need now is to basically package up my clip art set. And so you'll be able to see in my Monster 5 set, for example, you'll see that I have, this is the Monster 5 set, I have my logo, my terms of use, and then I have all the little clip art images included in that. And so what I will do, I will literally just copy both of those. So that's just my logo and my terms of use. Go into Monster 6, and I will just paste them to begin with. So they will go into there just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go into my last one, Monster 5. Now, if you haven't got previous sets that you can copy and paste from, you're just going to have to obviously rename them and retitle them if it's the first set of a series. But yeah, I just usually, because you can see Cute Monster version 5, I'm just going to go and click rename. I'm just going to copy that, and then I'm going to go into Monster 6 resource. I'm going to rename that one, and then I'm going to just change it to version 6. And so then I'm just going to, I know this sounds so crazy and weird, but I'm going to rename that again. I'm going to copy that now, and then I'm just going to rename these and just change the numbers on them. You want to basically just kind of label them in some sort of way that you know that's going to be easy for the user to kind of read and easy for them to access. I mean, sometimes some people might just leave it as like numbers, but I do usually, if it's like a really big set with maybe like just decorative accents and stuff, I will sometimes just leave it as the numbers. But if it's just like this with 12 different things, I will like to just kind of rename them, just like how I'm doing now, just to kind of make it a little bit more cohesive. Again, this is not something that it's not a have to do, it's just a nice to have, I think. At least for me personally, it makes it feel like it's a bit more put together. There's labeling done on there, so when someone opens it up, it's like, okay, this person has tried to put this in a like sequential order. That's made it easier for me to kind of access. Now, when it comes to the black and white version, usually I will just type in keep like the title and then black BNW, which is like obviously stands for black and white. And sometimes I will actually I might do it with this one, black and white. I'll get rid of the version 6 first and do outline, and I'll add the version 6, Clipartist version 6, black and white outline, just like that. And then I will just copy the name from that one. This will be the bonus one, 13. I just write bonus in capital letters there, just so they know, oh, this is a bonus one. So that's pretty good now. I'm happy with the way that looks. Of course, you'll see that my terms of use, if I open that, I've already checked over that. That's all flattened as well, but this is my terms of use. It goes into kind of showing you, and also on a side note, tells the user about earning credits, because if you do leave a review on something you've purchased, you can actually earn credits which you can spend towards other TPT purchases. So that's always helpful. So make sure if you do buy off TPT, you do leave reviews. I need to actually leave some reviews on some Clipart sets I've actually purchased recently, so I can get those credits too. But I have been lazy, and I know a lot of people too are not going to leave a review straight away, and sometimes it comes closer to the time that they want to buy something. Well, I've noticed that anyway, but it is nice for those people that have bought something, they're really happy with it, and they go leave a review quite quickly. That's always good. So what I'm going to do now, I've sorted this out, organized it. Now I actually need to package it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder. And so I'm going to just basically go to the other template, or the Monster 5, and look at what I called that folder. And so so you can see Cute Monster Set 5 to Lazo Clipart. So I'm just going to rename that and just copy that, Command C, and then same thing, I will literally just go in, rename, paste that in, and just change it to Set 6. Just double check the title, Cute Monster Set 6 to Lazo Clipart. We're good to rumble. Then I will just Command A to select all, and then I will just drag all of those into the actual file. And then you'll see it all included here in this little blue file, which is what you want. And then to finalize that and to package that up, we're going to right click that. At least this is how I do it on a Mac. And then all you do is simple and easy, literally just press compress, and it will then compress it into one file where the person basically has to open it. It's a zip file, and that's why I always say within my description that you need to be able to access and open zip files. And if you are opening Clipart on a Mac, it's usually just a double click. It's very simple. You don't need to have anything extra. On a Windows, then you might have to right click and like extract all or something like that on a Windows. But basically you want this little zip file to then be the file that you actually upload to TPT. So you'll be able to see here now that I have it in a way in my final version. This is this little green dot. This is what I'll actually upload to TPT. So I've got my zip folder, which has got all that clip art that I just packaged up. I've got my big preview that has been flattened and ready to go. And then I have my little preview with all the little thumbnails included. So we are now going to go onto TPT. Let's open my store up, and then we're going to actually upload it now. So let's make this bigger. So like I said, you can see that because I'm working on this kind of monster series, what my plan is to upload 10, probably actually 11. I might do like 10 different monsters, and then for my 11th I might do like a free one to kind of entice buyers to then purchase maybe the bundle. But yeah, I'm going to upload 10 monster sets, but because I've already kind of uploaded some of them already, it makes my life easier, because what I can do then is I can just go into my product listings in my store, and I'll be able to, because it's one of my last ones that I've uploaded, I can just literally go quick edit, and then I can go and click create similar listing. Now if you are not creating a similar listing, you have to go and click up on that add new product on the top right that you might have saw just before instead. But you can always do it here too by just clicking add new product. But because I've already done like a monster set. It's just a lot easier for me to upload this way. It saves me a lot of time. So cute monster clip art set. If you want to change the SEO on that, you could on your own set, but yeah, I'm just going to change it to set 6. I'm happy with that title, and then I'm going to go and select my file. This downloadable file is the zip file that you're going to need. So we're going to go into Monster 6. Let's just find Monster 6. We're going to go to my final. I'm going to go into my final folder. This is the zip folder that we need to add. Make sure that the title is looking good. Cute monster set 6. That's the right one. Terrazzo Clipart. Let's open that. So that will upload itself. Then we go down here to product previews. This is the big PDF preview that you're going to upload. Now, if you had a video preview, like if you had a resource store, that is where you do that. With Clipart, I haven't felt the need to add any video previews. I have added video previews in my creative table store, but for now, I've never really uploaded any video previews to Clipart. I just don't think it's that necessary. Just personally, I don't think with including my PDF preview, I think that's enough. So let's go back to that. But Monster 6 final, we're going to go into big preview. This is the flattened version, and we're going to open that. That should load here, and we'll just wait for that to load. You can see here that the zip file, and it has .zip at the end, so you know that's a zip file added there, but that will just continue to load. Then what we're going to do, you can see it's tried to auto generate thumbnails from the product file, but we're not going to do that, and it says they can't generate images anyway. So now because I've added that product preview, you can see that they've tried to generate thumbnails, but we don't want that. So we're going to click on upload thumbnails now, and then we're just going to add in, so from final, so making sure Monster 6 final, we're going to go a little preview, and we're just going to add them from 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So super simple, super easy. And then what I'm going to do, usually I'm not an SEO genius or anything, guys, but this is just like my basics of SEO. I just usually have like the title of what the actual set is, so in this case cute monster clip art, and then I just have like the set that it is if it isn't a set, which this one is. And then I like to just kind of change this up if I need to, but I've got get ready to bring your wonderful resources to life with this fun cute monster clip art set, which is fine. I can add that. I can still continue to have that from my last one. Be creative and innovative while adding this little monster creature to your worksheets, digital projects or crafts. That's fine. This set is also perfect for TPT sellers, creatives wanting to spruce up their resource design, posters, educational worksheet enhancers, seasonal summer resources, la 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 la, so much more. And then both for your personal and commercial needs. Now this is the part where I'm going to adjust. So this download includes, well, actually I might not need to adjust this one. 12 individual clip art images. Sometimes I will actually add like what it is. So 12 individual monster clip art images, and I'm just going to move that down to make it look a bit better. And so 11 different colors and one black and white outline, which is true because it's a total of 12. And then I write like check out big preview to see what's included. It's at 300 DPI, PNG, credit logo and terms of use included, and zip file. So they're all things that are included. Then I've obviously got my terms of use. So at Terrazzo Clipart, we like to keep things simple. Of course, this won't be the same. This description should not be the same as yours. You should create your own description on how you feel like it's best to kind of write to sell your work or your clip art. So just be mindful of that. Use this as like a guide if you need to, but basically I have like the title, a little snippet of kind of what to do with it, or like what it is, what the actual download includes, and then I just have like my terms of use. I've got my credit, so no additional license needed or minimum use in your own products for commercial. However, all that is asked is to include a reference, text, logo, or link back to my store for use within commercial products. So some clip artists will have like it's only limit on 500 whatever, but in my case, like I'm pretty lenient with my clip art. There's no minimums. You just have to make sure that you reference my store, basically, that you have used clip art from Terrazzo Clipart. That's what I basically just require. So I just kind of write here too, like before downloading, making sure that you know that you have a way to unzip a file, and then just like a little like this set, leave a review. And if you want more like this, you can kind of like click the star next to my name to follow me. Like these are all things, not everyone's going to read all the description, but I just like to kind of include it. And then what I might do is I'm going to get rid of these, because if you like this set, you might also like, I don't think those are really that relevant. So I might need to change it on my other one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more of the monster sets. And so I'm just going to go back to my store. So an easy way to do this is just go to your store. So I'm back at my store, and I'm going to just include 3. So I'm just going to do monster set 1. So if I just literally copy that title and then just go and paste that here, you'll see that it includes the link already. There's another way you can do it by basically just adding this little link title, but literally it's just so easy. If you just go to your store, copy the actual product, well, just not the actual image, just copy that and then just paste it in, and it will actually already bring you to that link. And so I'll just do like 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, so I'll just include like 3 to 4. In this case, I'll just do 3. And then making sure that I'm happy with the price. So I have these at $3. Like I said before in my first part of the video, usually I have like 12 images for $3. And anything kind of extra is more than that. And then obviously bundles are like usually you get more for a better value price. Now, usually, like if you do resources, this is going to be different, but because it's clip art, like anyone can kind of use my clip art. It's not like specific to a specific grade. If you feel like you want to, you could probably like click on more of the early years if your stuff is more early years, or if yours is more like, say, if you were doing more serious type of clip art, or like landforms or like science, maybe like you could tag some of the older years. But for me, usually I feel like not grade specific is the best kind of way to put it in, because it's clip art. And then I just have graphic arts, products for TPT sellers for my subject area, resource type, clip art by TPT for TPT sellers. They're the people that we're mostly targeting. And it's not, oh well, I guess because it's monster, I could include it in my Halloween clip art. These are custom categories. Now it's not actually rainbow, but it does have rainbow colors in it, so I feel like that could still go into the rainbow clip art category. And then I've got like my edgy monsters clip art section. And so there's 12 images or clip art images, so I'll just include 12 here in the details. There's no teaching duration, there's no answer key. And then I usually go and click this second one. I test that I have used copyright and or trademarked materials in my product, and it does not infringe upon the intellectual property rights of others, etc., etc. You can read that whole thing. The reason why I choose this one, now I know this one says I attest that this product I'm about to post is an original work and does not infringe upon the intellectual property rights of others. The reason why I don't actually choose this first one is because I use fonts that are not created from my own self. So because I use fonts that have copyright for that person that have created it, that's why I click this second one. Now I've created all the created all the clip art, created all the things by myself. However, I have bought fonts that I've used that have copyrights to them. I can use them for commercial use, but I do not own them. It's not like a whole original work what I've done. All the fonts, all the clip art, like everything that is owned by me. That's why I usually click this second one. So with that, we're pretty much at the end. We want to make sure that this is ticked, make listing active. And then I just usually go and double check it one last time, making sure everything's all good. Set 6, set 6, set 6. We've got the thumbnails there, making sure that that's all neat and tidy and that makes sense. We've got the price, we've got the sections. We can always go back and change this if we need to, but I just like to do a quick double check, and then I click submit. And then this is where it takes a little while to actually feature on your store, but in a moment, once that kind of loads, you'll see that it will kind of be posted. And then you have to usually, from what I found, wait about 5 minutes before it actually shows up in your store. So that's basically how I've created these kind of monster sets and how I upload them. So once you get the hang of it, and once you've got a system and a template that you can kind of follow, it makes your life so much easier, because if you are new to this, it does take a long time to actually upload. Sometimes it takes more time sometimes in the actual creation process of it. So it's like a couple of steps when you're uploading to TPT, and it can be quite daunting when you're first starting out. But once you have your own little setup of how kind of like you like to do things, then it will be all good. Now I'm just looking at this now, and I can notice that is quite small. So maybe I might edit this later on just to make this a little bit bigger. It doesn't need to be bigger, but if I was to go back in time, I would have probably made these slightly bigger just to make them a little bit easier to see. But I'm happy with that. I just double check that usually, and then I will go to my store, and you won't be able to see it yet. So like I said, usually it will take up to 5 minutes for that to actually show once you've uploaded it. What I will do now is I am actually going to show you, as a side note, now that you've basically watched my process from start of creating the clip art in part 1 to basically packaging and now uploading it, I want to show you a few things that I've actually done with this clip art. So I know someone left a comment a little while ago asking me, like, do I use my own clip art in my store and in like my other store, my Creative Table store. So as you know, if you have been following along, I have 2 stores, the Creative Table and Terrazzo Clip Art. And yes, I do use my clip art in my own store at times. Like I use a lot of different clip art, but I do use my own stuff. So I want to kind of just show you that, but I'll just type in my other store. So the Creative Table, this little blue logo here. So this is my other store, and you'll be able to see, so I've been working on like a back to school monster set. So I started off here with like the computer login cards. You can kind of see I've used the little monsters here. This is my favorite thing at the moment. So this is the reading folder front cover. Now you can probably tell that I am more early childhood based because of the way I have created these. My degree is Bachelor of Education Early Childhood, so I do specialize more so in the younger years, but I have found like some of my stuff that I've created on TPT, some of it's for older students and some of it's for younger. I don't really have an exact niche, but I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like when I've used some of my clip art. So I've got my reading folder here, so you can see that I've printed off, I've got the folder all printed off and included in this little download, and then I've added like a big preview to see kind of what I've done with this using that clip art. And I think it's just nice to show you guys this because these 2 stores are so different, but because I am the clip artist, the owner of this clip art, I can use that in my own work, which I love. And of course, like I'll just bring that up to the beginning. And because it is my own creations, like I feel free with what I can kind of create with it. So I have a nice big preview here. I've taken all these photos, I've cropped the backgrounds out. Sometimes I've had screenshots like in here just to kind of give a good idea for what is actually included. So this is obviously like a reading folder for back to school, and includes like I made this because when I was teaching in year 1, I would have loved something like this. So I did create my own one when I was in year 1, when I taught year 1 a few years ago. I think it was like in 2018. Yeah, this is just one that I would have liked to have. And yeah, I've just showed you kind of basically now what I've done with the little images, the clip art, and how it looks like in a actual product in my other store. And I'll actually show you it in real life at the end, like I said. But yeah, you can basically go and see on my store kind of what I have done with these. And my plan here with this, I want to make like a whole monster theme kind of thing, because so far I've got like the computer login cards, which I used to use at when I was teaching year 1. They had to sign in, so having something cute like that would have been fun. Then we had the reading folder. We have like a sticker chart. So that comes in both half page and also full page. And I'll show you that at the end in real life. And so we've got the days of the week monster theme. And so that's just a nice, cute little printout for anyone that's like having a monster theme as their theme of the kind of year. And then I've made this cute little monster theme classroom newsletter. So this one's really cool because you can actually edit it. So I'm actually going to bring that. I will show you the big preview of this, but then I'll actually show you what the actual resource looks like because I've got it on my computer. But this is kind of what it looks like as a listing. And then if you go into view big preview, I've got like a very similar style to the first one I showed you, but it basically goes through showing you can just literally easily edit this to suit your own class, and it kind of goes with that theme. And so I'll show you actually what it looks like if I open it up in my actual files so you can see it. Okay, so with that particular resource, this is what you would get with it. So just open up that so you can see that if you were to get something like this, you will be able to just literally click on this and type in whatever your classroom is. Maybe you're like in year 1, so maybe for example you're like 1M or something like that. You could edit the title, classroom, whatever you want to, monthly newsletter, whatever you wanted to do. You can obviously edit this to whatever you want. So maybe it's December, just move that over. But all of this is editable besides obviously the images, because that's that clip art that I've flattened in the background. You can edit the joke of the month, you can edit the titles, you can edit everything basically on here. Edit your name, Mrs. Jones, and then it makes it so much easier for you to basically fill in a little classroom newsletter. It's ready to go. You don't have to obviously even include it the same as this. You can edit it to however you want. Maybe you want to write a whole big paragraph, include a picture at the end. This is just an example of what it could look like. And yeah, it's just, I feel like when I'm creating things, it's fun to create with my own creations as well. So I just want to show you basically an example of kind of some of the stuff that I've made. Just get rid of that. Don't save that, with my clip art. So that is that. I'm going to go now and show you that in real life. The sun is setting, so it is getting a bit late. It's now 4:10, so I'm going to have to finish this video off, but I hope showing you my process here would have helped you kind of understand how I've gone from like creation to uploading. This kind of process has taken a while to kind of like figure out. And if you are just beginning your journey, you'll find what is best for you, what's going to work for you. Everyone's workflow is different, but yeah, if any of this kind of like can help you just in any way, I hope that you can at least see an example of how someone else is doing it if you're just starting out. And even if you aren't just starting out, it's just kind of nice sometimes to see how others do things. So I'm going to go and see you in my talking head. Alrighties guys, so before I go, I just want to show you what it actually looks like having created something with my own clip art and then basically having it on a product. So for me to create those products, obviously I've had to print them out and make them and take all the photos and stuff. So I thought it might as well just show you what it sort of looks like. So this is the guy that we made in part 1 of the actual like mini series. So I've used him as the main feature focus. So this is like the reading folder. I've just used a manila folder and I've just flipped over the edges a little bit and stapled them to make a nice little reading folder. This is what I used to do in my year 1 class to create the little reading folders, and then they would have their own plastic sleeve folder that they would just slip in there to kind of protect these, because obviously they're kind of like a manila folder, they're not like plastic or anything. So what it looks like that. You open it up, and so this is the actual classroom newsletter. So eventually I would like to, of course, like bundle this and have it at a more affordable price, because at the moment they're just all single elements. So hopefully you can see that. That's the classroom newsletter, and like I was trying to show you before, you can literally edit it any way that you want. And so this is like the behavior chart. I did use sticker charts in my year 1 class. That's the full page one if you're not wanting like a half page and you're wanting to get a bit more out of it. And what I really liked, I thought it was quite cool, is you can obviously use stickers. I know that kids love stickers, but what I found was tricky when I used to do the whole sticker chart thing was if I was away as a teacher and they had 10 stars and they said, oh, I didn't get my prize, but they the kids might have gotten their prize and I didn't actually know. What I've actually included on these kind of sticker charts is a little potential hole where you can hole punch it to make sure that you know that they've actually received their prize. So like if you had been away for a few days and they were like, oh, I've got 10 stars, but I haven't got my prize, but they actually had from the relief teacher, you'd know because they would have hole punched that. And a tip with that is you want to use a single hole punch because a double hole punch is not going to work really well. But you literally will just plug that in there, and when they've received their prize, just hole punch it to be like, yep, you've received it. That's just a little thing that I thought was quite cool that I added to that. So then, yeah, if it does get to that point where you've got some sneaky students saying, oh, I didn't get a prize, yes you did, hun, because I gave you a hole punch. So that's that. And like with the sticker charts, if you want to have them more so like for just in their trays, or you just wanted a smaller one for any reason, I have the half, that's what it would look like. And sorry, I messed this one up because I did actually try to hole punch that with like a second, like a double hole punch, not the single one. That's why I know that I couldn't find my single hole punch. So at the time that I did that, that's why it looks a bit strange. But yeah, you've got your stickers. Those gold stars work perfectly. I've made them for that kind of size. But that's what it looks like. Super cute, especially if you want to have like a monster theme. And then this is kind of what the little computer cards look like. So it's just good to literally, what I used to do when I was in year one, I'd have like computer cards, not these ones of course, because these are ones I've just made, but I used to have their names printed out on their own little card, and I would hold them in like a little, like maybe just put like a little clip on them so we can take them easy to the computer lab. And what I would do is I'd sit the children down, obviously nice and quietly because it's a quiet space, and I would just kind of read out the kids that were doing the right thing to begin with to go and choose their computer. And that was a good way for kids to kind of come in, relax, not just kind of rush in. And then I would kind of hand out those cards, and as they slowly kind of dribbled in onto the computers and they could start logging in. So it wasn't just like, okay, there's this mad rush, go try, find a computer, and then I'm just handing them all out. That's kind of how I would do it when I would work with the littlies, like year one, for example. So that is just handy because you can have them at the end of the class. You can choose a helper to go and collect all the cards. They give them back to you. You take them back. You keep them somewhere safe, and then easy. You just take the cards back to you when you're going to the computer lab again. So that's what they look like, and they come with like I think like 8 to a page. I've cut them out, but there's like 4 on each side. And then I'll actually get this out and just show you like the whole folder. So that's the front. Of course you can edit this name. Now on that download you actually have like one that you can write by hand, or you can obviously just edit and print. So it's really good because when you fold these over, you can actually put like a little reading book in there, which I love because it's just like, I'll see if I can find a book actually for you now that you can kind of just have a look at, so it slips in nicely. Okay, so I've literally just gone and got a book just to show you how this kind of works. So front cover, and then inside you've got like your communication form. So I found this really helpful for when I know that some parents want to ask something about the book, but they don't have time to kind of come in. So I had this in my year one class where if you had any like questions, they could just write in here the date, and they would just write like, oh, maybe they would say something like, oh, Jackson really liked this book, but it was a bit too easy for him, or something like that. And then I would assess that and see if I can try him on a higher level. And what I really love about this is I know when I was first starting teaching and I was downloading like some free reading logs, they didn't have the level in there, and while I found it was harder, so I obviously ended up creating my own, but to have the level in there was helpful to me because when I would get my teacher raid to change, so if I had a busy day and I got my teacher raid in and they were changing the home readers, she would be able to see, oh, he's been on 16 for like, that's the level he's up to, and that would make it easier for her to know what level he or she or them were like reading from. So it just made it easier for everyone to kind of see the level and to see the progression of he started at this date, and he's kind of improved over time what level he was kind of reading. But back to this, what I was going to say, I've just got like a little, these are about at least the size I remember, the books being majority. So they will just literally sit in nicely like that. And it's so super simple because these manila folders, like this is an A4 piece. I haven't had to cut any of these. You can if you wanted to cut the white space, but I haven't cut any of them off. Goes like that, and then yeah, it's just really good because you can just staple them. It's super easy, it's cost efficient, like it's good. Obviously book title, you got your level. And I know what we used to do at our school is we had like this 100 nights of reading program. So once a child got to 100 nights of reading, so this is what was to encourage reading, because some of the students at my school that I used to work at, they didn't do that a lot. Like it was more of a lower socioeconomic kind of school, if that makes any sense. So they really were trying to push and encourage reading at home. And so that was why they were encouraged to try and read as many nights to then, you know, earn rewards with their family. Like, could be anyone reading to them. It could be like their sister, brother, you know, older brothers and sisters, of course. But it was just to encourage reading every night, every day. Of course, as teachers, we do lots of reading throughout the actual school day. But to have that connection with a parent or a caregiver, it's really nice to be able to read at home with a loved one. So anyway, once kids would get to 100, so every night they would read, their parent or themselves can shade a night, and then we would go and check how many nights they had read. It's not how many books, it's how many nights. So if they've read, if it's taken them 6 nights to read this book, that's fine. They would just shade 6 every night that they did a little bit of reading. They would shade a night. And so eventually, once they got to 100 nights of reading, then they would get a nice surprise or a nice certificate at the assembly along with a nice prize. So that's why I've added that on the back, because it is a nice incentive to get kids. It doesn't have to be a whole school thing. If you wanted to do it in your class, to have that 100 nights of reading to encourage reading in, they can get a prize. If you have like readers that are struggling or are less motivated, you could even possibly give them a prize at 50 to kind of keep them encouraged to continue reading. Yeah, that is just basically, long story short, I just want to show you kind of what it would look like in the physical form of like me creating clip art, me then creating it to use in my other store, just in case anyone's out there has thinking, oh, should I create my own clip art to use? And just to answer the question, do I actually use my own clip art in my own resources? Yes, I do. And yeah, this is just like a little example of something that I have made with it. And yeah, I really like how it's turned out so far, to be honest. I really like this resource. Again, my plan is to basically make a whole kind of like classroom decor bundle set, including all of this, and have it in like a nice value price instead of just individual resources. But I will link them down below if anyone likes any of them, just to kind of, or even if you just want to have a little squiz to see what it looks like. But yes, that is that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has kind of just been like interesting enough for you to watch and just kind of see how I work. Because I'm not starting from scratch every single time, and I do use templates, that is what makes my life easier, especially as a mum trying to upload things to TPT. And as I've mentioned in my last income report, at the moment, I love my clip art store, like I love it so much. But I do feel like at the moment, I'm going to take a little bit of a step back from my clip art store, and I'm going to put a bit more effort into the creative table, just because I feel like more is happening on the creative table and I'm doing less. But I think if I could do more to that store, I think I could build that up more than I can build Terrazzo at the moment. So I'm going to have a little moment here, switching stores, not switching stores, but like working on the creative table a bit more, putting a bit more effort into that to see where I can build that up. And then, because I have put a lot of effort into Terrazzo to bring it up to where it is, and I am still going to add obviously new products every month. I just feel like I'm going to spend a bit more time, instead of having like literally once I've done 10 products for Terrazzo clip art, like I'm going to try and use the rest of the time to put more into the creative table. And this is where it gets hard as like a business person to make the business decisions of when you have 2 stores. It's up to you then to like decide where is your time being spent, where are you going to be working, and where do you see the return and where do you see the potential of business going. So at this point, yeah, I'm going to be doing that, but of course we'll talk about that throughout my, you know, income reports and all that. So yeah, that is part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If there is anything that you kind of want to know, then feel free to leave a comment down below. If there's anything that you feel like you wanted explained further, like I love hearing ideas about any potential videos, and I'm sorry if I don't get to, if anyone that's left a comment, I do read them all. It is hard for me sometimes to get to some comments just with mum life and everything else going on in my world. I'm pretty busy at the moment, so it's just tricky, but I will get to them when I can and if I can. But I just want to say thank you if you have left a comment. I have most likely read it. There are some that have gone under the radar and I'm like, when did they post that? Yeah, for the most part, I thank you if you do leave a comment. Feel free to leave me a comment anytime under any of my videos. Ask me a question and I'll, like I said, we'll try and get to it when I can. But thank you for your patience. Hope you learned something new. I was really excited to do this video, and that is just me sharing my process, and I hope you enjoyed working with me today. So with that said, wishing you health, wealth and happiness in your Teachers Pay Teachers journey and in life. And I will see you in my next video, which will be my 80th video, you guys. We're getting so close to 100, only 20 more to go, pretty much. So yeah, see you then. Adios.